I get everyone's attention real quick right up here? Everybody's attention? Okay, so I know it's a little bit of a mess, but what you're going to do is you're going to go to where your city sat yesterday, but not when you were split up into parties. You know what I mean? Like yesterday morning for the assembly. That's where you're going to go, according to the information I have right now. In your cities, yep. Thank you so much for your cooperation. I'm sorry it's a little bit of a mess, but I don't know, things happen. Thank you. Sorry, I swear I'm almost done with announcements. Could I get the person who's giving the opening prayer today to come up real quick? From St. Louis. Could I get them to come up and talk to me real quick? Please stand for the advancing of the colors by Philadelphia, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance and the opening prayer led today by a citizen from St. Louis.
Hi, I'm Lauren Bastemeyer. I'm from St. Louis. Please bow your heads and pray with me. To open up this morning, we pray that you heal Emily Furman Pieper with her stroke from earlier this week. She was one of our speakers earlier this week. We thank and praise you for the wonderful opportunities like new friendships and new best friends. We thank you for opportunities of new career paths like I have found myself in, along with life decisions and putting ourselves out there. You really do have a greater plan, and piece by piece, as this week is ending, all of us are finding and understanding why we are selected for the 2019 ALA Girls State. The reason we all stand amongst each other is truly a gift. Thank you for this blessing. Amen.
All right, since you're all standing, I think we kind of know the drill at this point. Please join me in singing the Girls State song. I love it. Okay. You may sit. Thank you all for your lovely voices this morning. All right, so today we have a real honor. Our speaker this morning is Craig Price from the South Dakota Department of Public Safety. Please join me in welcoming Craig to the stage.
Surely. Is it on now? Can you hear me in the back? Okay, so how's everybody doing today? Okay. Yes, over here. Okay, my name is Craig Price, and I'm going to go through a little bit of a presentation as to the Department of Public Safety, but I just want to introduce myself real quickly so you kind of know who I am and where I come from and why I'm here today. I am from Pierre, and I've been in law enforcement for about 22 years. I went to Boys State back in 1991. So with the exception of anyone on the outside edges, who in here was even a thought in 1991? Not very many of you, right? Okay, so I left Pier this morning at about 5, so I could get down here early enough to talk to you for a few minutes. And I'm glad I got here a little bit early because I was a little tired, wore out, standing in the back. I have never seen so much energy in a room before 8 a.m. or before 9 a.m. than I did this morning. So that's a credit to you girls. Holy cow. Yeah, give it up. Woo! I have been speaking at Girls State for about, 5 or 6 years. This is the first year that I was speaking as the Cabinet Secretary for the Department of Public Safety. In the years past, I've been the Superintendent or the Colonel of the South Dakota Highway Patrol, which is a position that I held for about 8 years under Governor Dugard. I started my law enforcement career back in 1997. I went to SDSU where I got a degree in wildlife management. My plan was to be a game warden. When I graduated college, I was in the National Guard, and I had a National Guard soldier that said, hey, I'm a state trooper out in Rapid City, and this is a great job. You've got a lot of freedom, a lot of flexibility, and you can do a lot of fun stuff and drive a really fast car. So I thought, what the heck, I'm going to put in, see if I get hired, and if I do, then maybe someday I'll go try to be a game warden. My path never changed. I started as a trooper, did it for about 2 years. Lived in Tyndall, which is just west of Yankton. Is there anybody in here from Tyndall? Bonhomme County. That's all Bonhomme. Stand up if you're from Bonhomme County. Holy cow, Bonhomme County. I worked a lot in Yankton because I didn't want to arrest people in Tyndall, so I'd go to Yankton, so I'd work people over there. Yeah. So I was a state trooper for about 2 years. Then I became an agent with the Division of Criminal Investigation for the state of South Dakota, which is basically a criminal investigator like the FBI, but it's a state level, where I investigated undercover drug narcotics investigations for about 3 years. And then I was a general criminal investigator for about 3 years. And I became a polygraph examiner. Anybody know what a polygraph is? Lie detector test. I'm still a licensed polygraph examiner to this day. Don't ever take one if you don't have to. Right? No one in here lies anyway, right? So you're all good. You need to laugh at that. It's supposed to be a little bit funny. And then in 2005, I was promoted and I moved to Pierre, where I was the director of the state criminal laboratory, the state crime lab, for about 5 years, where we have DNA scientists, fingerprint scientists, firearms examiners, crime scene investigators. And I ran that place for about 5 years as the director before becoming the assistant director of the Division of Criminal Investigation in 2010. So I was the assistant director of the Division of Criminal Investigation for about a year. And then Governor Dugard asked me if I'd come over onto his team and become the superintendent of the South Dakota Highway Patrol, which is a great honor for me. At the time I was 37, I had been in law enforcement for about 14 years, and I was going back to the agency in which I started with. So that's where I've been for the last 8 years. And then Governor Noem, you guys met yesterday, right? Yeah. Governor Noem was here yesterday. So when she won the election in November, she came to me and we had a meeting, and we had known each other for a period of time since I had been obviously the superintendent of the Highway Patrol. And she asked me if I would be the director of public safety and be on her cabinet and on her team when she took over as governor on January 5th, 2019. So it was a great honor for me to have that request made, and a real great honor for me to work for her, which I've been doing now since January 5th. And I'm here to tell you, she had a lot of energy yesterday. She got a lot of good ideas. She's genuine, and she's going to lead our state to a lot of great places, and we're going to accomplish a lot of great things for you guys, for your younger siblings, your younger friends, and for those that are older for you. She has a really big focus on creating a great state for future generations, and you girls are all going to be a huge part of that. I can see it already. The energy you had in the room this morning, the work that you've done this week, you're going to be a big part of that, and I look forward to probably working with some of you. Have any of you been like a page or an intern with the legislature? Stand up if you can. I can see a little bit better that way. Okay, so there's about a half a dozen or so in here that have been a part of that in Pierre during January and February and March when the session goes on. During session, you'll probably see me over at the Capitol a lot if you happen to be there, just because we're there lobbying and testifying on bills that relate back to public safety. So that kind of summarizes my work career. Again, I've been with the state for about 22 years. Personally, I'm married. My wife, Cammie, and I will be married for 22 years in June, and we have 2 daughters, Remington and Lavin. Remington is going to be a freshman at Pierre, and Lavin is going to be an 8th grader. So last year when I spoke at Girls State, they both actually accompanied me and sat down in the front row, and I had a really good opportunity to embarrass them a lot, but they took it pretty well. So that kind of summarizes who I am, and I'm not real tech savvy, but I'm going to try to slide through this. I only have a couple of slides to go through. At the end, there's no test. There's no test for what I have today, so if you're sleeping, It's still not okay. I am going to ask a couple questions at the end, and I have a couple prizes if you get them right, okay? So I'm going to challenge you to listen when I go through just a few things here. This is our Department of Public Safety mascot. You guys all have mascots at your high school, right? Yeah, exactly. We have a mascot at our department. His name is Tommy the Turtle. And what Tommy does is he goes around the state during different city, local, county events, county fairs, the state fair, different things that might be going on. Tommy goes around and represents the Department of Public Safety, and he works out of our Office of Emergency Management, which I'll explain the setup of our department here in just a few minutes. Our mission is to keep South Dakota a safe place in which to live, work, visit, and raise your family. That's exactly what we do. And I'm here to tell you, you have big goals, things you want to accomplish in your life, things you want to achieve. Some of you want to become CEOs of companies. Some of you want to become doctors. Some of you want to become lawyers. Some of you want to become business people, hairdresser, whatever it is, whatever goal you have to live in a safe environment in order to achieve those things. And that's our job as a department within the state government, is to make sure that South Dakota is a safe place to do all those things. So when you drive from point A to point B, we have state troopers out there making sure that you get from point A to point B safely. When you have a tornado or a blizzard or a flood, we send people to there to make sure that we're responding to make sure that your community is kept as safe as possible, that you're taken care of, that if you need supplies because your house was torn down in a tornado, we make sure that you have places to sleep, places to go, supplies, again, food, blankets, all that type of stuff to make sure that you're safe as can be and that nothing bad happens to you or to your family. Within DPS, we have, let's see here, how many do we have? Count them, 14? 14 different departments. Who's ever called 911? Anyone here ever called 911? Okay, so holy moly, there's a lot of emergencies going on at Girls State. I didn't say this week at home. A lot of you have called, how many of you called 911 accidentally? Okay, so there's a lot more that have called it accidentally. So we manage all of the coordination of state's 911 systems in South Dakota. So when you dial 911, it goes to a dispatcher in your local community or to the state radio, and we manage and make sure that all those things are being taken care of from the state level. Accident records, if any of you, okay, here's another question. How many of you have been involved in a crash? Oh my gosh, okay. You keep your hands up again, I got to see this. That's like over half the class or group, well, maybe a third. So my daughter Remington just got her, so you have the 6-month permit where you have to drive with a parent, and then you get the permit where you can drive by yourself. She just got it Tuesday of this last week. She just got it Tuesday, and it's killing me because we live about 8 miles out of town. She's very active in different things. She's got sports she's got to go to and back and forth from town. She's driving herself now, and by the looks of it, she's got a pretty good chance of maybe being in a crash sometime, if this is any representation. But anyway, we have accident records. We keep track of all the accident reports that come into the state of South Dakota. Any feedback that people need to have in relation to insurance companies or private parties that need to have access to that data, they would be able to come to our department for that. Driver licensing. How many of you have driver's licenses? Raise your hands. Okay, almost all of you. I would suspect most of you probably do. When you go to the driver license exam station to look in the thing and take the test and pass the exam with the person who's riding anything in the car, that's under our office. We manage that, and we have about 80 employees that run the driver's license agency across the state. Emergency management, again, that's Tommy the Turtle. That, again, if there's a tornado, if there's a flood, if there's a blizzard, if there's a natural disaster, if there's some type of an event where emergency services are needed, we will send emergency management staff there to work with your local communities and make sure that you're getting what you need. Counties and cities in South Dakota a lot of times have emergency managers. Who in here from Sioux Falls? Okay, a lot of you. They had a flood this last spring, right? And a lot of other places did as well, but Sioux Falls did specifically. And Mayor Ten Aiken was there running an emergency operations center, and they had the emergency manager from the city of Sioux Falls and the emergency manager from the county of Minnehaha that were in one room, and the emergency manager from the state of South Dakota in one room talking about things that we needed to do to adequately prepare for the flood that was coming imminently towards Sioux Falls. They built up bridges or levees. They put sandbags around critical infrastructure. All those types of things are coordinated by the Office of Emergency Management. Now, we have emergency services, finance, and the fire marshal. Finance is just the budget of the office. We have about a $50 million budget that I manage every year, which just means that there's $50 million from the state revenue that comes to us or other funds that I manage so that we can run our office and make sure that we get money out to where it needs to go. Fire marshal, if there's a fire in your community, when a house burns down, when any type of structure burns, the fire department might respond to it right away and put out all the fire and make sure nobody gets hurt as best they can possible. Well, then there's an investigation that happens after the fire to determine if it was an accident or if it was set on purpose. We have fire marshals that work for us that will come to your community and they'll investigate those fires so they can determine maybe what happened. Unfortunately, sometimes people do set fires on purpose and then people get hurt from them, and we want to make sure that we can investigate that so that those people can be held accountable if they do that. Highway Patrol, which is probably our biggest, most visible agency, that's the one that I've been running for the last 8 years. We're actually going to have a change of command ceremony in about 2 weeks where the new colonel is going to take over from me. We have about 260 employees, 197 of which are state troopers. I'm going to show you a little bit of a video before I wrap up on a female that works for us as a state trooper, and she is also our pilot, and she flies our state airplane for the Highway Patrol. But in total, we have 197 state troopers. By a show of hands, how many of you think we have more than 30 female state troopers? Okay. How many think we have between 20 and 30? Okay, we got a little more hand. How many people think we have between 10 and 20? Okay, that's pretty much. How about under 10? And who thinks we don't have any female state troopers? Right there in the middle. One girl raised her hand, I think. You totally thought I didn't see you. I saw you raise your hand, then you pull it down quick. She goes like this, sees there's nobody else with their hand up, and then withdraws it really quickly. That was impressive. We have 14 female state troopers. That's not near enough. When I started as colonel 8 years ago, we had 3. I already told you, I live in a house of girls, my wife and my 2 girls. You guys have a lot of talent. You bring a lot to the table. There's a lot of things that each of you in this room can achieve if you set your mind to it. And we made an effort over the last few years to focus on hiring female state troopers because it's primarily a male-dominated profession, but it doesn't have to be. So we've made those efforts, and right now we have 14, and we're making efforts to hire even more. I'd like to see that between that 20 and 30 range by the time I retire, which is some days not soon enough, some days it's a long ways away. And we have the Office of Highway Safety. We do a lot of advertising, texting while driving, things that we put on TV, different billboards, sponsor different things so we can raise education to make sure that you drive safely. How many of you in here wear your seatbelt when you're in your car? I should see every hand go up. I was in a car crash in 2006 by myself. I rolled my car, and I can tell you, if I would not have been wearing my seatbelt, I probably would not be on stage. The seatbelt takes about 3 seconds to snap. It's just a habit. 3 seconds to put on. And if you have all these dreams and things that you want to accomplish, you want to be doctors, lawyers, attorneys, judges, business people, pharmacists, law enforcement officers, firefighter, whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life, one way to make sure you have a better chance of achieving those things is a simple thing by wearing your seatbelt. Okay? About half the people that die in crashes in South Dakota die because they're not wearing their seatbelt. So it's important. Then we also do inspections, or we have an inspections office which goes around like the Department of Health if there's restaurants, that grocery stores, gas stations that sell gas. We inspect all the food. We make sure that the scales are all on track to make sure that if I go in and spend $1 on a little bunch of grapes, you weigh them and then it comes out and says you owe $1 for this weight of grapes. Well, we want to make sure that the grocery store has that scale appropriately set so they're not setting a little bit under and therefore by making more money off people. So we inspect those and make sure that they're covered. Then we have a legal services division. We have an attorney that works right for me. Her name is Jenna Howell. She's fantastic. She does primarily most of our legislative things that we do over at the Capitol. Then we have the law enforcement telecommunication system, which, again, doesn't mean a lot to you, but when law enforcement needs to be aware of information, there's ways that we can get it sent across to each other. We manage that as far as within the state of South Dakota, so that if we have a homicide suspect that's on the run that needs to be found, we can get a message out to all law enforcement quickly across the whole state that says, hey, here's this homicide suspect that needs to be found, and this might be the car that he or she is driving. We then have state radio, which is dispatchers. so that when law enforcement, firefighters, ambulance services, when they're out doing their job and responding to the things that they need to respond to, state radio are the dispatchers that would talk when you make a 911 call. If you're making a 911 call and somebody answers it on the other end, some of those folks work for us in state radio. Others work for a lot of local dispatch services as well, but we do have some that work for us at state radio. And then again, we have the Weights and Measures office. Here's just a quick picture of a couple things from departments we mentioned. Now I'm going to try to play this video, which I think I can do, and then I'm going to open it up to any questions. And again, I have some questions myself that I got prizes if people get it right. Calico, are we on time or am I too slow? I'm killing it. Yes, let's hear some cheering out there. I see a couple sleepers. Come on, louder. Louder. Okay, all right. How many of you have met Matt Michaels? How many of you know who Matt Michaels is? Okay, not very many of you. Matt Michaels was the lieutenant governor for the state of South Dakota for the last 8 years. He lives over in Yankton now, and he's obviously not the lieutenant governor anymore. But that guy was crazy loud. He could get us room screaming. He's going to be disappointed in me, but you guys are doing pretty good. Okay, Tyler, I'm on there, so I just click it. Oh no, that's. Oh, there we go.
From interstate crashes to state emergencies, they're always among the first to respond.
Now, the South Dakota Highway Patrol is looking for more troopers. The HP is looking all over for new applicants, but also wants to diversify its ranks. In the last few years, it has made an effort to recruit more women. On-time guy on Hello Land, Brittany Mallory talked with 2 troopers about why that's important and looks at the latest push to add to the patrol.
So this is where I spend most of my time when I'm not going for the highway patrol.
Trooper Sarah Schumacher was never satisfied just being on the ground.
This is what tells you your aircraft heading, your aircraft altitude.
That's why she studied aviation, became a pilot, a certified flight instructor, a multi-engine instructor, and joined the South Dakota Highway Patrol in 2016.
I can work with our drone operators to help them understand things they might not understand, like about airspace or about weather forecasting, because I have a background in that and they don't.
Most of the time, people won't slow down to a reasonable speed when it's icy or snowing out.
Trooper Bryn Risk studied criminal justice in college and also joined the HP in 2016. Following in her grandpa's footsteps is what put Risk in the driver's seat.
I just spoke with a lady that was crying because she went in the ditch and she didn't know what to do. And so, when you can show up and help someone, it just kind of makes you feel good.
The Highway Patrol hired Schumacher and Risk because they're qualified, determined, and made it through the typical 13 weeks of training. They just happened to be women.
Growing up, I didn't really have anyone that was a female in law enforcement because it's not, I guess, a very female-dominant job.
Older men and women sometimes ask me, I've had a lot of older women ask me, they're like, does your husband know that you do this, and is he okay with it?
In the last few years, the Highway Patrol has tried to change this by recruiting more women. It started seminars in 2015 to achieve this. Last year, we reported there were 13 female troopers. This year, there are 14 women out of a little more than 190 troopers in the state.
We have our own kind of club because we're outnumbered by the guys right now. And so it's really great because if we have a problem, we can go to one of the other women and we can say, hey, is this something that you've had a problem with?
Right now, HP is hiring again, and the goal is to find the most qualified applicants. But there's always the desire to add new troopers of different genders, ethnicities, and backgrounds.
But we're just looking for more diversity in general. It doesn't matter what gender you are or what your background is. We just want good applicants.
We're always hiring the top candidate. So if we can find that top candidate with that diversity, that's what we're looking for.
Still, maybe in this region, the idea of law enforcement is still a white man. So does that present any challenges?
The challenge might be there, but for us, it's making sure that we get the word out and make sure that we have boots on the ground that are out there recruiting, actively recruiting.
Schumacher says different backgrounds are important, because they bring new ideas and solutions to help keep you safe.
We're the ones who are eventually going to be running the organization, so it's good for us to be able to get in, see how things work, understand the culture, and then figure out what we think needs to change and go out and change it.
As for the future, Schumacher says her 7-year-old niece wants to be a pilot, and she hopes having this job will inspire her to go for it.
If I can do anything in my life that makes the path for them easier, for them to be able to walk that path without some of the setbacks maybe that I've had in my life, then I will do absolutely anything.
Leave it to a pilot to give future generations wings. With Eye on Kelloland, I'm Brady Mallory.
We can see what other aircraft.
Olson says recruitment efforts stretch beyond South Dakota because the patrol also looks for people in other states. To find out how to apply for the highway patrol position, we have listed the information.
All right, I'm going to move on. Okay, so I'm going to ask a few questions, but I need one volunteer. Haven Hines, you can help me. I know your dad. You're like, how does this guy know me? I watched you play basketball since you're like an 8th grader in Pierre. I need you to help me, though. So I got 3 questions. You're going to hand out the prize, okay? All right. So first question being, I'll call you up when I'm ready. First question being, and I'm going to try to do this by whoever raises their... No, I'm going to do it by this. Whoever stands up the fastest, okay? So you got to get athletic, get ready, get on the edge of your seat, get ready to go. Don't pull any hamstrings or calves or anything like that because we don't want to get anybody hurt. First question is, in what year did I go to Boys State? Right there in the blue shirt next to the girl in the red. Yes, you, right there. 1991. All right, Haven, come on up here. Tell your dad hi for me. She gets that. All right. And what's your name? Yeah. Noble. And where are you from? Garrettson. Okay. Was there flooding in Garrettson too? That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. Next question. What is the name of the mascot for the Redfield School District? That's not a question. You got to wait till I finish the question before you jump up. All right, back down. Back down. You got to wait till I finish the question. What's the name of the mascot for the DPS? Oh, right here in the red shirt. Tommy the Turtle. Very good. Tommy. Okay, so what's your name and where are you from? Volga. Okay, so Volga. Anybody in from Redfield? Used to go to Redfield. Anybody from Redfield in here now, though? Okay, so I'm from Redfield. But I lived in Volga for about a year when I went to SDSU. Yeah, there's like that old hospital on the west side of town. Yeah, we lived in that. It was a good time. College is fun. You guys will enjoy it. Okay, next question. It's going to be a little bit harder. How many departments are there in DPS? Whoa, red cardigan. Is that a cardigan or what is that on? 14. Yes. All right. And your name? You can't sit down that quick. Okay. No. Like where you're from? Woonsocket. Okay. And what city? You're in Philadelphia here. You're going to be a senior. What do you want to do when you get old? Business or political science? Okay. And I can't remember your name, ma'am. Yeah. What do you want to do when you grow up? Whoa, that's nice. Okay, and then over here? Humanitarian sciences in the Navy. That's awesome, too. Very good. All right. Haven, this is for you for helping me out. Thank you. Good hands. Okay, I would like to open up if there's any questions that you have for me.
Let's just have the citizens panel come up and sit in the chairs right here. And you have a mic, so...
I have a mic.
I'll give them a handheld mic.
So has Tyler been good at the music all week or what? So the gals around the edges that take care of you and make sure that you're in your room when you need to be and make sure you're up and in the morning and getting ready to go, told me that this has been the most wild group of Girl Staters that they've had in a long time. Maybe ever. So you got another day and a half to prove that you make the ever part of it, right? So let's have a good day and half day tomorrow. But also give them thanks because they sacrifice. They're probably going to sleep next week just like hopefully you guys will. Okay, any questions?
Kelsey from Journalism City, and our question is, how does an influx of bikers during the Sturgis Bike Rally affect the duties of DPS?
That's a very good question. The bike rally with the motorcycle folks that come into Sturgis, we plan for Sturgis about 10 months out of the year. It happens every year in August, and we send about 60 extra state troopers out to the rally to work for about 10 to 14 days. We also send emergency managers out there because occasionally there's big thunderstorms with a lot of hail that comes through the hills, which sometimes that is helpful because it quiets things down with in relation to some activity that's going on. We also have the fire marshal office out there that's stationed during the motorcycle rally, and we have an operations center that operates 24 hours a day during the 10 days of the rally, where information is being constantly obtained, changed, people are talking to make sure that the state and the city of Sturgis and Meade County. Anybody in here from Sturgis or Meade County? Okay, so do you guys know like Gavin West and Ryan Garland? Okay, so I know those boys. I work with their dads and I've known them for a long, long time. But anyway, we'll begin planning literally about 2 or 3 months after the rally to make sure that we have the resources out there to make sure that everybody can enjoy it as best they can. Sometimes, unfortunately, we do have outlaw motorcycle gang members that do show up at the rally that cause some problems. A lot of times they don't, but sometimes they do. And we have to make sure that we're always prepared to respond in the event that they do in regards to any type of criminal activity. We've had shootings, we've had homicides, different things that happen during that week, and we just want to make sure that we can have emergency services there to help people that are hurt and make sure that we have the right people there that can deal with the incident as it's happening. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Madison Nordstrom. I'm from St. Paul. And
Madison Nordstrom?
Yes.
You're from St. Paul, but where are you really from?
Garrettson.
Is it like Nordstrom's Auto Body? Is that you?
Yep.
You can run that
dad.
place? It's your dad?
Yeah.
Is it your plan to like run that place someday?
I don't know anything about cars, so probably not.
Well, okay. That's a big place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Our question is, what is the most valuable thing you've learned from your job?
The most valuable thing that I've learned from my job is that come to work every day with a positive attitude, treat people right, and you're going to be able to achieve a lot of things. People always think, I got to know the most. I got to be able to know the most of the studies. I have to be able to be the best at this particular thing. But if you come to work every day with a really, really good attitude, you're automatically going to stand out. You're automatically going to stand out if you go to work with a good attitude. And if you treat people right when you get there, the world's the limit. I'm telling you, you can achieve a lot.
This is Lily Dannenbring, and I'm from Minneapolis.
Lily Dannenbring.
Yes.
Okay, Minneapolis. You're real
But
city.
I'm really from Yankton.
Oh, do you know Morgan Rodig?
I do, yes.
God, I know a lot. Okay, Morgan Rodig. I know her dad and mom very well, and Morgan and Kylie and Katie. Yep.
Cool.
The Cunningham boys, do you know them?
I do, yes.
You really know what?
I know, they live by me.
Oh, no kidding.
I know. Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
I know.
What's your question?
Okay, so out of the positions that you listed that you've held in the past, which one of those do you think prepared you most for this specific role?
That's a good question. So the question was, you probably heard it, which of all the positions I've had prepared me most for this position? It would probably be a combination of being the state crime lab director and the highway patrol superintendent. Because when I was the director of the state crime lab, there was about 13 people that worked for me, and we had a lot of challenges. We had to change a lot of things. We had to really improve the quality of service that we provided back to the citizens of the state and the law enforcement agencies that depended on us to get them the forensic results that they needed to do their work, and that we could get the best possible information out so that victims of crime could be best served. So we had to make a lot of changes in that organization in a relatively short period of time. So there was a lot of challenges that went with that, but I grew from it as a person. I learned a lot from leading a group of people through significant change so that we could provide a better service. And then my time as the highway patrol superintendent gave me the opportunity to supervise and manage, a $25 million budget, 250 employees, and really lead an entire organization of people down the road of achieving goals that we set. Now, in the Highway Patrol, when we want to achieve things, we get input from the citizens through surveys that we send out, actually in cooperation with USD. We get input from our own employees, and then we get input from other law enforcement agencies that we work with. Take all that input in and say, okay, what can we do to provide a better service in the state of South Dakota as a Highway Patrol agency? And then we set strategic plans, goals, objectives, benchmarks, accountability to achieve those things. And then, unfortunately, we've been able to do that. So I think, really all of those things in my life, specific, to my work career, led me to do this. But I really will tie it back to, if you come to work with a good attitude, do your best every day, and treat people right, you're going to achieve just about anything you want to achieve. That's the honest to God truth. Thanks. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for your very insightful questions. And I think that we do this thing here at Girls State. It's called Girls State Thank You. So we are going to get started right now.
Thank you very much. Good luck, and make sure you do. What's the one thing you need to do if you want to achieve all your goals? Wear your seatbelt. Thank you.
All right. Oh, no worries. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I learned a lot from that, and I thought that was very cool and very fun to refresh. Okay. So, our talent show has been extended a little bit into today. So could I please have Margaret Sam from Los Angeles come to the stage? And we're gonna move some things around real quick, so talk amongst yourselves.
My name is Margaret Sam. I'm from New Tech, but I'm from Los Angeles here. Does anyone here speak German? One, kind of. Okay, so I'm going to be singing Als Louisa de Briefe erst ungetreuen verbrannt. It's a German piece by Mozart, and so I love opera. I've been singing opera since I was 9 and training. And I just wanted to share my passion with you guys for opera. So please enjoy Als Louisa de Briefe erst ungetreuen verbrannt. Stunde, vor Bild gebrachte, geht zu Gute.
All right, everybody. That was amazing, right? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of shook. That was very cool. Okay, so I would like to now wish a very happy birthday to Avery Weinheimer. I think we should probably sing. Oh, is there another birthday? Oh, that's you. Okay, cool beans. Cool beans. Okay, we're going to sing it. Ready? And happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Avery. Happy birthday to you. How old are you, Avery? How old are you, Avery? You're 18? Dang, you go, sis. Okay. So, all right. Fantastic job to everybody. Now, the moment you have been waiting for, the announcement of the state election. So when you are announced, you can come up on stage and start lining up. All right, for Public Utilities Commissioner. First, Olivia Sass. Next we have Sailor Burke. And our final Public Utilities Commissioner, Jaden Clark. All right. And now for our Commissioner of School and Public Lands, Emma Hagel. Our state treasurer is Ashlyn Bickett. And now for our state auditor, Rihanna Wellberg. Secretary of State, Kaylin Thompson. And now our Attorney General, Abigail Van Ruler. All right, everyone. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Okay. This year's 2019 ALA Girl State Governor is Success Swen. All right. Will our new governor quickly say a few words into the microphone? I'll grab her one.
I just want to say thank you so much for making this such a great experience. This, like, people talk about how they remember Girl State for years and years, and I was like, okay. But now I actually believe it, because I actually feel like I've made real connections with people, with everyone, well, mostly everyone here, because I didn't get a chance to meet everyone. But thank you so much for just giving me the opportunity, and, like, I'm so grateful for being here and for having your support. Thank you so much.
Announcement. Attorney General and Supreme Court Chief Justice meet Melissa on stage immediately after the assembly. Got it? Cool beans. Okay. So, with that, we have now reached the end of this session. As we conclude, let us remember to be diligent in our activities, dignified in our words, and above all, patriotic in our actions. Please rise for our prayer from a citizen of St. Louis and the retiring of the colors. Yeah, prayer first. You're good.
Hi, my name is Liberty Brink. I'm from St. Louis. Let's pray together. Dear Lord, first I want to specifically lift up Emily Furman Piper, the 1994 Girls State Governor. Please heal her from the stroke that she had this week. Lord, thank you for bringing all of these incredible ladies together. I feel your presence so strongly in these ladies and the atmosphere here at Girls State. Please continue to bless these ladies and help us all to be focused on your perfect plan for us and to keep on being a positive and uplifting influence in not only the lives of the ladies here, but also in everyone's lives back in our hometowns. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, everyone. Could we get one more round of applause for all of these wonderful people up here? And with that concludes this session. Yeah. Oh, shoot, lost and found. Sorry. I'm just going to have you come up and claim them because we don't have a ridiculous amount of time. So you guys are good up here. We're going to leave it till tomorrow. Yeah, okay, cool. Never mind.